Hey guys, MugenLord here, and today I just want to talk about the Street Fighter 6 leaks. For the past couple of days, it's just been crazy. No one was really expecting any of this to happen, just to have the whole base roster leaked. So in this video, I just want to talk about whether or not these leaks has ruined your excitement and your anticipation for Street Fighter 6 leading up to the launch, and what impact does this have on Capcom themselves as far as trying to build hype for this game, knowing the fact is that these leaks are out when it comes to the base roster. So we're going to dive right into it because I really want to discuss not only Street Fighter 6 and its leaks, but I also want to discuss leaks in general and how does that impact, the game industry, or just us as gamers, and our excitement and what we anticipate when it comes to our games. Now, when it comes to Street Fighter 6 leak though, it's kind of like I'm in this conflicting situation here, because in one instance, this leak, kind of like ruins it for people who love to have their games or their reveals sprinkled, leading all the way up to the launch. So it has people to keep them in, it lures them in. You have that fish and you have that hook, and you just keep luring the people in, bait them in, all the way up until the launch. It gets people to have and formulate discussions, to have something to look forward to each and every time a new character comes out, and have more people speculate what character, is going to make it into the game. But on the other end, now that we do have the Street Fighter 6 base roster leaked out, you kind of know what to look forward to in the future. The future has been mapped out already. So for those of you who are wondering whether or not your character is going to make it into the game, now you know if your character made it in or not. So you know whether or not that you want to continue to invest your time into the whole Street Fighter 6 marketing campaign leading up to the launch, or okay, I'm going to skip out on this one and just wait until the DLC drop to see if my character makes it in. So it does give you a little bit of, I guess you say, a look into the future, whether or not that you really want to invest your time into Street Fighter 6. So the other thing about this leak is that this leak was quite receptive as far as the roster itself is concerned, because there was quite a couple of factors that factor into it. One, I believe that it was a great selection of characters that was chosen for this roster. Out of all the Street Fighters, I wouldn't say all the Street Fighters, but if you were to compare this roster to Street Fighter 5's roster, this roster right here has Street Fighter 5 just completely wiped. It has it beat, and I believe that's the thing that really has people more responsive, more receptive to this leak, because you have a healthy roster, you have some safe picks, and then you have fresh new faces that's added into this roster. So you have your Road Warriors, which where most Street Fighter fans, we already learned, and it seemed like with this roster that Capcom has pretty much learned, because they knew going the third strike route with just getting rid of all the Road Warriors, it wasn't a good idea. So they knew to put some of the originals in there and then sprinkle in some of the new generation, which is Street Fighter 4 and 5, and they skipped out third strike. And then they gave us brand new characters, Street Fighter 6, and I really appreciate that. It's because it's about time the series move forward. We can't always stay in the past. So being introduced to new characters, I believe, was a good thing. And I think the second part is why this leak was much more receptive, besides the character selection, was also the designs of the characters. The art style, the theme that they wanted to go for, this more of this urban hip-hop type of theme and art style and direction they wanted to go, which makes the characters look much more appealing, and especially the newer characters. I think the hard thing about creating new characters is that the characters have to speak out to the players. There have to be some type of connection, some type of relation that the player and the characters have with one another for these characters to become recognizable. They become brands and everything like that. And I think they nailed it with Street Fighter 6 and its art design, because Kimberly looks awesome, JP looks awesome, Aki look awesome, Mimi, all the new characters look pretty dope. And I really appreciate that they put a lot of time and effort in the designs. Now the thing is, I want to see how well they translate into the actual 3D models, and that's what I'm definitely looking forward to. More specifically, Kimberly. And from what the leak was mentioning is that she's an African American female shinobi. So does that mean that she's going to be replacing Ibuki in some way? We just have to wait and see. But I think that's the two really big major components to why this leak is much more special in this sense of because of how well receptive it is. Now, the other thing about the leaks and what it had done for me and my hype for the game is that actually, to be honest, I'm way more hyped for it now than I was before we seen anything. Is because, like I said before, when it came to Street Fighter 5, it kind of like really, I guess I wouldn't say destroyed my confidence, but it just, I don't know, I just lost hope in Street Fighter for a little bit because of Street Fighter 5. In my opinion, Street Fighter 5 wasn't really that fun of a game for me compared to Street Fighter 4 and the Street Fighter Alpha series. But with seeing the gameplay of Street Fighter 6 and then seeing the characters that was leaked and what characters are going to be in the roster, now it got me thinking about the game. It really has me thinking about the game right now. And a lot of my friends in my social circle and my brothers don't even play Street Fighter like that. And now I got my brothers DX Strike and Heel Lancer actually talking about the game as well. So it's kind of like a mixed bag here when it comes to leaks. Now, to talk about how does it impact Capcom itself when it comes to trying to raise a hype and awareness moving forward up into the launch, it's kind of like a I would say like a challenge. But then again, what if Capcom had intentionally leaked this themselves? Now, this could be a two-folded type of thing here, situation. If it wasn't leaked, then yeah, they really have a lot on their hands as far as trying to get people engaged and keep people interested in hype. But if they did leak it, then that will only indicate to me is that if they was willing to leak the actual base roster with pure confidence, then it also lets me know that maybe Capcom has a way more things to show in terms of actual content that's going to be in the game. Because we know that with Street Fighter 5, it was lacking in single player content and all kinds of features. What if Street Fighter 6 is actually content rich, it's content heavy, it has a lot of content in it, and the characters are just only the tip of the iceberg? So that's what I'm thinking. If this is the case that Capcom had just put out the characters out there, then to me it seems like they may have more things to show that we have yet to see, which also means that there's still more hype and much more excitement to be had when it comes to the actual reveal moving forward into the launch of the game. Now, leaks in general, I think since we live in a social media era, like withholding information nowadays is quite hard. It's really hard for companies to do that, is because we have social media, we have cell phones, we have all kinds of ways where this information can get out there before the developers are able to actually present this stuff. And it seemed to me that in order for these companies to counteract that, in most cases they leak it out themselves, but it's much more controllable of where they want the hype to go and everything about that. And also it's another way for them to get feedback to decide whether or not they need to do some fine tuning and tweaking some of the elements. So like I said, it's well controlled in that sense. But when it comes to social media, nothing can be hidden now. And I think because of that, it did destroy my anticipation for some games. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a perfect example, or Super Smash Bros. Wii U, for example. That's where leaks really started coming in for me. That's when I started really discovering leaks when it came to Super Smash Bros. Wii U. That pretty much really destroyed a lot of hype that I had for the game, because you pretty much know what to expect moving forward. And then once these reveals happen, you're excited, but you only would say to yourself, man, imagine how excited I would have been if I didn't know any of this information ahead of time. Hell, State of Play has been leaked. Nintendo Directs has been leaked. So we get a chance to get a rough idea of what we can expect. And as a content creator, in my opinion, leaks are fun. They're content rich, where there's a lot of content for me to talk about as a content creator. And as a content creator, I would like to cover this stuff because it's content heavy for me. It's stuff that I can constantly put up for you guys to enjoy, for us to have a discussion, for us to speculate. But on the other end, as a content creator, since I have to look into this stuff in order to put this content out there for you guys to be up to date on what's going on within said game or company or industry, so forth and so on, it kind of like weighs me down. Like, man, like I wish I didn't know this. I wish I wouldn't have read this, or this just popped up in my face, you know? And that's the thing. Like, it's crazy how the gameplay for Cammy's special moves and actual you actually see Ken's character model actually displayed on screen as well. So there's so much that's out there concerning the game. And what makes me think that Capcom is somehow involved in this leak is the simple fact is that they actually responded to the leak. And you got to see the tweet. The tweet, paraphrase, is pretty much them saying that, yeah, you know, it's a bummer that you guys have seen it, but it's okay. We like the fact is that you guys was highly receptive of it and gave positive feedback. And to me, that's what makes me think that it was much more of an intentional leak, is for the fact is that most of the time, if it was really bad and it received a lot of bad criticism, I think Capcom would have been like really striking people, have YouTube striking people's channels down, and I think there would have been more severe punishments as far as leaks were concerned. And also, I don't believe they would have even responded to the community in a tweet if it wasn't really planned. I think for the fact that since it was planned, they not only responded to it, but for the fact that they got positive feedback, these guys were more inclined to even respond about it and even thank everybody for the feedback. So it let them know that they're on the right track when it comes to the game. But yes, I know it can suck. I know leaks can suck. I know a lot of people like to be surprised, and it makes it harder when you go on social media, because you turn on Facebook, you know, you turn, especially YouTube, you see a thumbnail and you just ruin, especially more specifically the thumbnail that I got for this video. So I definitely understand how people feel when it comes to that, and how it can impact the company, because now Capcom really has to really show us some juicy content to keep us going. But I think this leak did work in a way, because people still can't stop talking about Street Fighter 6. People are still talking about it right now. I'm even talking about it right now. So I think it really did hit the right spots, and I think it's going to keep the game in the public, the eye of the public, and it's going to keep this game relevant within the FGC leading up to the game, because we have yet to see what the battle hub is going to be like. We have yet to see what the characters actually look like in game, and we have yet to see what new properties, what new moves are going to be added to some of the returning characters. So there's a whole lot of things to anticipate, and I'm looking forward to it. But that pretty much wraps us up. I definitely want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about leaks? Do you think leaks ruin the excitement and the experience for you as a gamer? And what do you think the impacts are on the company when these leaks happen? Definitely let me know in the comment sections below your thoughts. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that bell to be notified for more Street Fighter 6 news and gaming news in general. This is MugenLord signing off. I'll see you game fiends later. Peace out.